Hello everyone. It's been a while since I've last gone herping, but the weather is finally getting pretty good. It's actually December 1st today, but it's in the 70s right now. So I'm gonna try to flip some rocks and maybe look in the creek and see if there's anything out. So out there's a spiny softshell turtle. It's actually pretty weird to see them just out like that, because pretty soon if I get close, they'll just dip under the water. I saw a few other turtles basking earlier, but this guy's the first one that's actually out and about. Look at this. There's two Texas cooters right here. Just foraging. At least that big one is a cooter. No, they're both cooters. No red ear on these guys. Seems like the bigger one is a female and the little one's a male. Okay, well I just flipped this rock and got the first snake of the day. Right here. This is a juvenile rough earth snake. Extremely tiny individual. And as juveniles, they have this little white band on their head, which they lose as they go into adulthood. I just watched this little, not very little, Texas spiny lizard scurry across the trail, and I went up this tree to hide. So another herp for the day. So here we got a few more Texas cooters, just basking. Let's see if I can get any closer. Oh no. Okay, well those two skedaddled. I think this one is actually a red-eared slider. It's a melanistic male. Usually as they age, they become more black in pigment. Somehow he's not sliding, the cooter slid. There's one of those cooters that slid earlier. A large female, I think. Alright, just flipped this rock and there's a snake. This is a Tantilla. Tantilla gracilis, flat-headed snake. So like the rough earth snakes, these guys are also super fossorial. And he'll always try to find some place to burrow, like into my fingers, if I give it the chance. And he always keeps trying to wrap around my fingers. Pretty cool, I was really hoping I would see one of these today. Somehow it calmed down enough. Oh, never mind. Spoke too soon. Yeah, I just wanted to show this bright salmon color on their belly. A lot of them have this kind of coloration. Yeah, this guy's super squirmy and not cooperating for photos, so I'm just gonna let it go. Yeah, this isn't a herp, but it looks pretty cool. It's a desert centipede. Whoa, it almost caught something. Just flipped it under this rock. These things look crazy. Well, under that log, flip this guy. This is a little brown skink, Scancella lateralis. Somehow I managed to grab it without it breaking off its tail. But actually, I think this one has a partially regrown tail. You can see it, like, it's kind of grayish there, and then it transitions into more a darker color. Yeah, guys are pretty common, so I'll just let it go. I just flipped the second one of these today with a little brown skink. And since they're so common, we'll just let them go. Even though I only saw 2 snakes today, it's still pretty good considering it's December now, which is not really in the season for flipping. Today gives me hope for what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I'm gonna try to flip some boards tomorrow and hopefully see some even cooler stuff in some areas that I haven't really explored much. So I'll see you then. So that flipping session didn't exactly go as planned. So now I'm back in Dallas for the Christmas break, and I came to this flip site. So hopefully there's something cool here, or at least something here. We'll see. first board, and there's a bunch of little mice under here. They're probably deer mice. Look at them. Okay, so I already flipped this board. I already know what's under it. Tell me when you spot the herp. Right there. It's actually a smallmouth salamander, Ambystoma texanum. This is actually an adult too. They're so cool. It's one of the very few salamander species we have in North Texas. I'm gonna go ahead and get him out so we can get a better look. So I put some water on my hands just to get it a little moist for this salamander. Here it is. Such a cool animal. This is one of the few places that I know of in North Texas, or in the DFW area, that you can reliably find these guys. And I actually saw my lifer last year at this exact spot. So cool. Oops. Just let him go back under. Okay, so I just came to the next flip site under that board. What's this little guy? This is actually a Rio Grande chirping frog. Lithrodactylus campi. That's actually a non-native species. Super weird looking guys. So one thing that makes them so successful as a non-native species is that they don't actually have a tadpole stage. Their eggs are actually laid directly into moist soil, and then when they hatch, they form tiny little frogs that are ready to hop around. I'm just gonna let this guy go back under the board. There it goes. Okay, well this is kind of unbelievable, but under that log, I just flipped this. It's a western ribbon snake, or orange striped ribbon snake to be exact. There's an absolutely tiny one. Like it was just coiled up under that. It's kind of moist under there, so I was hoping to see another smallmouth salamander, but instead there was this guy. Okay, I'm just gonna let it go right back under its log. Temperature's actually gonna get relatively cool tomorrow, so it'll probably start like brumating under there. So right here is actually a small portion of the vernal pool that the smallmouth salamanders actually breed in. And right now it's relatively dry because we haven't got much rain, but it's supposed to extend like all the way down there. Last year when I came here, this was completely full of water. Okay, this is kind of crazy. I came up to this thing because last year I found a smallmouth salamander under it, but this year it seems to be raised off the ground. But I just looked up. There's actually a western rat snake just basking or something right there. This is kind of crazy. What? It's just a juvenile too. Still, it's like in the 60s right now, and he's kind of in the shade. This is so odd. I just went around to get a better angle at it. It's still completely in situ. So weird. But I kind of want to flip this to see if there's anything under it, so I'm probably going to pick it up. Ooh, he's chilly. That's so cool though. Yeah, he is very cold. No wonder he's trying to get out and bask right now. So I've been holding it for a few minutes now, and I think my body warmth has warmed up the snake significantly. It's tongue flicking a lot more. But still, it feels really cold to the touch. Let's go ahead and flip this board and see if there's anything under. Nope. So I laid the board down flat again, so hopefully I can come back here in a few weeks and see if there's any smallmouth salamanders under here. But as for this guy, it's already getting kind of late, the sun is setting, so I guess I'll just set him down in the sun and see what he wants to do. He just wants to sit there for a little bit, soaking in the last few rays that there are. Okay, I guess I'll leave it right there. I'm gonna keep moving. Alright, right here in the creek, we got a Blanchard's cricket frog. Super common, they're always hopping around and of course hopping into the water. Let me help them out. Dunk. There's another Blanchard's cricket frog that jumped into the creek and then went underwater. It's just chilling there until I leave. There's yet another one. Even though these guys are so common, they're so variable in color. Seems like a lot of the ones I've been seeing here are mostly like grayish, but this is like more darker gray. But they can also have like green or orange on their back. Super cool. Well, it's looking like the sun is just about to set, so I think I'm gonna call it for today. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Herping. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.